thinking of America, I sometimes find myself admiring her bright blue sky, her grand old woods, her fertile fields, her beautiful rivers, her mighty lakes and star-crowned mountains. But my rapture is soon checked. My joy is soon turned to mourning. This prejudice goes even into the Church of God, and there are those who carry it so far that it is disagreeable to them even to think of going to heaven if colored people are going there too. South, I was a member of the Methodist Church. When I came north, I thought one Sunday I would attend communion at one of the churches of my denomination in the town I was staying. The white people gathered round the altar, the blacks clustered by the door. After the good minister had served out the bread and wine to one portion of those near him, he said, "These may withdraw, and others come forward." Thus he proceeded till all the white members had been served. Then he took a long breath, and looking out towards the door, exclaimed, "Come up, colored friends, come up, for you know God is no respecter of persons." When I remember that all is cursed with the infernal actions of slaveholding, robbery, and wrong, when I remember that with the waters of her noblest rivers, the tears of my brethren are borne to the ocean, disregarded and forgotten, and that her most fertile fields drink daily of the warm blood of my outraged sisters, I am filled with unutterable loathing. You degrade us, and then ask why we are degraded. You shut our mouths, and then ask why we don't speak. You close our colleges and seminaries against us, and then ask why we don't know more. But all this prejudice sinks into insignificance in my mind when compared with the enormous iniquity of the system which is its cause, the system that sold my 4 sisters and my brothers into bondage, and which calls in its priests to defend it even from the Bible. The slaveholding ministers preach up the divine right of the slaveholders to property in their fellow men. The Southern preachers say to the poor slave, "Oh, if you wish to be happy in time, happy in eternity, you must be obedient to your masters. Their interest is yours. God made one portion of men to do the working and another to do the thinking. How good God is! Now you have no trouble or anxiety, but you can't imagine how perplexing it is to your masters and mistresses to have so much thinking to do in your behalf. You cannot appreciate your blessings. You know not how happy a thing it is for you that you were born of that portion of the human family which has the working instead of the thinking to do. Oh, how grateful and obedient you ought to be to your masters. How beautiful are the arrangements of Providence. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, and it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them, and these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows, or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. In the light of these ideas, Negroes will be hunted at the North and held and flogged at the South so long as they submit to those devilish outrages and make no resistance, either moral or physical. Men may not get all they pay for in this world, but they must certainly pay for all they get. If we ever get free from the oppressions and wrongs heaped upon us, we must pay for their removal. We must do this by labor, by suffering, by sacrifice, and if needs be, by our lives and the lives of others. I have observed this in my experience of slavery, that whenever my condition was improved, instead of its increasing my contentment, it only increased my desire to be free and set me to thinking of plans to gain my freedom. I have found that to make a contented slave, it is necessary to make a thoughtless one. It is necessary to darken his moral and mental vision, and, as far as possible, to annihilate the power of reason. He must be able to detect no inconsistencies in slavery. He must be made to feel that slavery is right, and he can be brought to that only when he ceased to be a man. The American people have this to learn, that where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither person nor property is safe.